So let's delve a little bit deeper into the brain of Donald Trump, because everybody needs a break from intelligence sometimes, you know? This is from The Hill. This is from their Twitter. It says, Trump makes false claim about voter ID. Quote, if you buy a box of cereal, you have a voter ID. Now, Trump often does this word vomit thing where it looks like it almost, one time I was really stoned, and I think there was probably something else mixed in with the pot, you know, maybe some PCP or something, I'm not sure. But I remember distinctly, I fell into this state where I could barely think, and my brain would finish sentences faster than my mouth could say them. I would start to say a sentence, and then I'd skip the middle and say the last part of the sentence, and nobody could understand me. And I swear to God, that's what Trump sounds like to me. He sounds like somebody he can't keep up with his own words, or his mouth can't keep up with what his brain is thinking, or something. I don't know what it is. Definitely not saying he's intelligent. I'm just saying he's not very coordinated. But at first I was looking at this, it's like, if you buy a box of cereal, you have a voter ID. And at first I'm thinking, okay, does this mean that when you go to the store and you buy a box of cereal from now on, there's going to be a voter ID in it, that you're going to get a voter ID? But then I thought, okay, no, he must have had more word vomit, like he does, brain vomit out of his mouth. And he must have meant, if you buy a box of cereal, you need to have a voter ID. And I wanted to give him, I really tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I don't know why, but I try to do that with everybody. And thought that maybe he was just doing that over-exaggerating thing that Trumples always does, where he really, maybe was taken out of context, you know? Maybe he was trying to say, you got to have an ID for everything, right? I mean, you go here, you do that, everything. Well, if you buy a box of cereal, you have to have an ID. I was thinking maybe that's what he meant. And then I found this.
We believe that only American citizens should vote in American elections. Which is why the time has come for voter ID, like everything else. Voter ID. You know, if you go out and you want to buy groceries, you need a picture on a card. You need ID. You go out and you want to buy anything, you need ID and you need your picture.
You have to have a picture ID to buy groceries. What universe does Trump actually live in? You know, I obviously it wasn't taken out of context. He said, you know, you have to have groceries, a picture ID to buy groceries, and then to buy everything, and then to buy a box of cereal. He says you have to have a voter ID to buy a box of cereal, when there is no such thing as a voter ID yet. I don't know what planet he's from. There's only one conclusion that I can come up with, and that is simply that Donald Trump, in his entire life, has never had to buy groceries. He's never gone to a grocery store. He's never had to buy groceries in his life. And that's possible. But then I have to ask, what kind of president could possibly understand the people that he's serving if he's never even had to buy groceries on his own? I mean, how can he possibly understand the American people if he's never even bought groceries? The guy's probably never had to take his car in to have it, tuned or fixed. Somebody's probably done that for him. He's probably never had to personally buy anything or personally go out to a store and get anything. He's probably never had to do any of that. He's probably always been served whatever he wants when he wants it, right there at his desk. And how could a person like that possibly understand what the normal American goes through. I don't think it's possible. I really don't, which I think is one of the reasons that Trump is so far out of touch with America and what Americans think of him, because we're obviously, I mean, most people are universally against Trump. Now, even right-wingers that I know are against Trump in some ways. I mean, they do support some of the things he does, but they ultimately, most of them think he's still an imbecile. So, and they all wish he'd shut up on Twitter. So this is a thing where, but he thinks that he is God's gift to presidency. He thinks that he is amazing and that he's doing a wonderful, wonderful job when, you know, in my opinion, and like I say, you guys know me, I don't play for a side. If I played for the left, I'd say everything he's done is terrible all the time. He's never done a good thing in his life, ever, ever. If I was like one of the far right guys that just worship him all the time, then I'd say, yeah, Jesus Christ could hop off the cross and tell me that, you know, Donald Trump was Satan, and I'd still vote for Donald Trump. And there have been people that said similar things to that. But I'm in the middle. So there have been some things that Trump has done that I thought were pretty good. Most of the things he's done, I can't get behind. Now, in this particular case, I like the idea of a voter ID, and I know why he's doing it. He wants to make sure that the only people who get to vote in an American election are actual legal Americans. Now, that's not ridiculous to ask. That's not a ridiculous thing to ask, because say you come over here, and I've seen some very interesting, like, hidden type videos where they wore disguises and they went in, and the people at the, you know, in the voting place, they were like, okay, no, we don't need to see your passport. We don't need to see your ID. We don't need to see, we just need your name and your address, and then just make an X right here and you can vote. And the people that went in there, they were speaking with obviously heavy accents, and they didn't ask him anything about their citizenship, even though they kept saying, you need my passport, right? You need, no, we don't need to see it. So I can see where that would be a problem. And where this is a problem is because if somebody from, you know, Bangladesh, if somebody from Siberia, you know, if somebody from, you know, Beijing could fly over to the U.S. during election time, walk into a voting booth, give the address of their hotel room and their name, put an X, and then vote, well, there's something inherently wrong with that. So we need to make sure that, you know, might as well just send out ballots to the entire world and let everybody in the world vote on, you know, our elections. That's not going to fly. We can't do that. So I can get behind the idea of a voter ID, but this is another one of those cases where, yet again, Donald Trump has retard mouth. He doesn't know how, he not know how speak thee. He not know words for face. He can't do it. He doesn't know how to, he doesn't formulate the words good in brain and face. So, yeah, I don't think this was a case of the media taking him out of context and making something ridiculous out of something he said that wasn't ridiculous. No, this was ridiculous. The man just has never in his life bought a box of cereal.